the magic
All
touch.
right, guys, we are back and we've got the chat enabled. So we are hoping that you will join us here at Spark, New Jersey. We're going to go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
You want to put it up? You got the
Whichever.
magic touch.
I'm back. My big face. Sorry. I think we're working good. I see Leandra. Yay, Kristen.
Oh, are we able to see it though?
And we're gonna just try to.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, that's perfect.
I can probably like
I
bring the
can't
sound
read
just
what
a
it
little
says,
bit.
though.
All right, we're gonna do our best. Squeeze in real tight and.
Yay! Scoot in this way.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Perfect. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi!
Oh, cool. Hi.
Aw, nice to see you
The
guys.
chat works. We love that you're here.
So just to recap, we are here at Spark, New Jersey, and today we're talking about faith and photography. I'm McKenna. I'm Amy. I'm Amy.
I'm McKenna.
I'm Cassie. This is Cassie. And,
No, I'm McKenna too.
and we're going to talk a little bit about faith and photography. Just in case you're interested in Spark, we meet every week from 1 to 4 on Wednesdays. Either
Wish you were there too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Either in Morris Plains or in Bridgewater.
Or Morristown every once in a while.
Yes, Morristown every once in a
I just
while.
moved.
Yes. So if you're interested, email Cassie.
Or any of us,
Yeah,
honestly. But,
and we'll get you in touch. So today we're talking about faith and photography, and McKenna is getting ready to share one way that God has showed up in her business in a big way.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
McKenna.
cool. And just if you guys hear anything in the background, like a little baby, Audrey, so Amy's daughter, is joining us right now.
Yeah.
She's kind of playing over on the corner there, so she might be making her appearance, but just, heads up. So like Amy said, I'm McKenna. She's McKenna and Cassie's McKenna. Okay. No, so, I think everybody's probably gone through this in one way or another, but the big launch business-wise, where I really felt like God was there and just a big part of my business and just making that first exit out of leaving a full-time job and the security of that. So about 2 years ago, I was working at a company called Hornblower doing wedding planning, more so in events in Manhattan. And I prayed for a long time, like, when should I start my business? When should I not start my business? And then when I finally did, February, it'll be 3 years. This February, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Then it was kind of like, okay, well, once I book 10 weddings, I'll leave my job. Once I book 18 weddings, I'll leave my job. Oh, no, I'll wait until the rest of the year in December, I'll leave. And I just felt like God was like, I got you. And, you're so worried about, am I going to have enough money to support myself? And, I don't have anyone else. So if this doesn't work, like, I am in trouble. So I really we have a loose baby. So it really kind of came down to, I wasn't sure. Sorry, guys.
She's fine. You're good. Keep going.
Yeah, she's good. I just wasn't sure, when I was going to be able to do it. And, it was a really hard year when you first launched your business.
Battery, come on.
When you first launch your business, because you don't know if you're going to book weddings, as I'm sure many of you probably struggle with that too. Like, you don't know when the next wedding's going to come. Is it going to be a referral? Is it going to be just by a random friend? Are you going to take no money and just book a wedding? And so I think it was like happening like that a lot. I didn't know when my next wedding was going to be, so therefore I didn't know if I could really leave my job. That being said, I was sick. Like, I think I second shot a lot of weddings. So almost like 40 weddings, maybe a little bit more, that year that I launched my business. So I was shooting with, a bunch of people, especially a lot with Amy and a lot with, Caroline and, Jessica from Love and Life Photography. And it was great exposure and I loved it, but I was sick all the time. And I really feel like God was like, listen, I got your timing, I'm going to support you. There's enough weddings for everybody. Like, now's the time. And I ended up leaving my job 2 weeks into October, so October 16th. And the next day I had my first wedding, like, for my business, so October 17th. And honestly, like, it was just from there, by the end of that year, by December, I had booked 25 weddings for the next year and for, that year too. So I was good. I was secure. And God was just like, you know what? I feel like I'm telling you, like, now is the time. And there's no way when I look back that I could have ever done it at all. Like, I had to edit, and I was, you know, had all these weddings to go to, and I felt just so blessed because I was still second shooting, and I was still, you know, bringing home enough money to be like, okay, I'm not gonna starve. And I felt like God the whole time was like, just be patient, I got you. Like, this is gonna work out, and I'm gonna love and support you. And one verse that really kind of shed some light on all of this for me was Philippians 4, 5 through 6, like just maybe 5 and 6, 5 through 6. And it says, let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And I feel like this is like so good for me because one, when you're making like such a big decision to leave the security behind, and you're just sitting there like, oh my gosh, God, what do I do? You want him to feel near. And I love how it says, like, the Lord is near. Like, it's not like he's not going to be near. You know, he is near. And I was so anxious, and I had so much anxiety. And I love this, too, because it's do not be anxious about anything. Like, God's got you. And I think it shows. I mean, I shot 30 weddings my first full year in business after leaving Hornblower. And you know, that's a real testament, not to like my skill, but to like God giving me the opportunities to do that. So that's kind of where we go. So I'm going to hand it all over to Cassie. We kind of have different levels, and you can be Audrey.
We're squishing in here.
Here you go. You can move over a little bit more if you need to.
Do this. Hey guys. So actually, I wanted to say one thing on yours because I'm going to be talking a little about like leaps of faith in my business, and I feel like McKenna, like you took a huge leap of faith. Like I feel like you were telling yourself like, no, I'm not going to leave till December, and then you felt like God was telling you like, no, leave now in October, and you did. You put in your 2 weeks notice, and I feel like that's like, I don't know. I just hearing you say it again, I was like, yeah, she did that too. Good job.
I feel like everybody has to do it one way or another.
I know.
And, yeah.
So McKenna kind of talked about the beginning of her business and like her leap of faith in going full time and leaving her job and trusting that God's going to provide. For me, like I feel like my kind of mini testimony with God happened in like the middle of my business. You making room for my butt?
No, I'm just like make room for everybody.
Nice. So for mine,
I'm coming back.
Okay.
That's okay.
My testimony kind of happened in the middle of my business. So I was already established. Like I had already been shooting for about 2 years or so, and I hit this moment where I realized I was limiting myself in terms of finances, and I was saying, you know, I wasn't setting goals. I was just kind of like accepting whatever came my way and shooting a lot of lower budget. Marjorie. I know.
She's like, no more lower budget
weddings.
No more.
So shooting a lot of like lower budget weddings and just kind of accepting anything that came my way and just not feeling like confident in myself or my abilities. And I feel like God was, you know, it was like I don't remember what time of year. It was like towards the end of the year. And I feel like God was saying like, I want to provide for you, but you're not asking me. You're not trusting me. And I think about that verse where, you know, God says like, ask and you will receive. And I wasn't asking him. I wasn't trusting him. I was setting my own prices, which meant I was setting my own low budget prices, not having the faith that anybody would trust me to shoot their wedding. So we're rotating.
Well, Leandra said that we have to turn it this way and you don't have to squeeze. And, so thank you, Leandra. I thought that you couldn't do that.
Okay, now we can make room for butts. Yeah, you can come in. You bet.
Changer?
Yeah, she's okay. Anyway, so moral of the story is I took the leap of faith and I literally like doubled my highest package that it was previously. I doubled to make my lowest package. So I basically, you know, overnight doubled my like lowest package and then like went higher. So it was like double and above of what I was charging. And I was terrified to send out my first pricing guide. I was like, nobody is ever going to pay me that much. I'm stupid. I'm never going to book another wedding. And I feel like God was just telling me like, I'm gonna provide for you, but like you have to trust me and you have to let me do that, you know? And nobody's gonna just show up at my doorstep one day and be like, I want to pay you double what you're asking. Like that doesn't just happen. So so I took the leap of faith and I did it. And the first email that I got and that I sent it to, they replied right away and wanted to set up a meeting, and they booked my second highest package, which was like 3 to 4 times the amount what I was charging beforehand. And I was actually with Amy and McKenna at the time.
We all celebrated together.
We all celebrated. I got the email and I was like, you guys, it's happening. So it was definitely like a huge celebratory moment. And I felt like in that moment when I got the email, I just feel like God was like saying, like, I told you, like, you have to listen to me and you have to have faith. Like, I told you this was going to happen. Low battery warning. Hopefully we'll be good. Anyway, and so it was almost like I, in my little human bubble, was saying, okay, I'll double my, my package, but like nobody's ever going to book more than that. And then God, like, he took the bar that I set and he raised it even higher by having them book almost my highest package. So I just feel like there's one of my favorite verses where it says, now to him, God, who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Like, I think of this verse and I just picture, like God being up there and we're so feeble and, or like humble in our what we want to ask for. And sometimes, we're like, okay, you can just give me like one of X, Y, Z. And then God's like, no, I'm going to give you 2 just to show that I can. Like I feel like he likes to show off his, power. And even there was another verse, I don't know if it's in here in our collection of verses, but one of the verses where it's like, like you see how God provides for like the birds of the air and, the grass that's like here today and gone tomorrow. And I just think like, how much more is he going to provide for us who are his children? And like, one verse was like, correct me, because I don't know it specifically, but it was like if a son asks for something, that's one of our verses, right?
Yeah.
I'm I know, hold on.
Like, it's on this one.
Is it on this one?
Yeah. On the bottom.
Oh, that's the do not worry. Where's the other half? All right, we might have to find it. No, maybe it's not on here. Oh yeah, here. Okay. It's in, I guess that's part of Matthew. Yeah. Matthew 7:9. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will the Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So, even just thinking about that, like I was asking for such a tiny little thing and God was just like, oh, I'm going to give you more than that. So,
but I feel like it was something too that was like so, it was something that you couldn't imagine to happen.
Definitely not.
And God was like, no girl, I got you. Do this. Like, I want you to do this. Like push yourself and dream bigger.
Exactly. Yeah. And which is to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, which I could not even have imagined that. So, yay! That's my story.
Thanks for sharing, Cassie. Let's see if she'll say it. She gets a little wild. I might pass her off to the baby whisperer, McKenna. Audrey does have all of my notes, so let's hope. One of the big things that God did for me this year was allow me to shoot weddings. I booked 30 weddings for 2015, and at the very end of 2014 found out that I was pregnant with this little beautiful girl, Audrey. And I was so excited about it because my husband and I had been praying for a while for God's perfect timing and blessing us with a child, and found out that I was due in July, and I immediately celebrated and was like, yay, I have no weddings in July. Like, God is so good. He's, set it out at the perfect time, and then reality set in, and I said, oh, wow, I have 5 weddings in June and 3 in August. How am I going to do this? And immediately just, worry started to set in. How am I going to be able to shoot all of these weddings when I'm 8 months pregnant, when I'm 1 month, basically after giving birth to her. And I got very nervous about calling my brides. I cried about it. I said, God, how am I going to talk to these people? What am I going to do? And, I finally decided to stop worrying about it. And I just point blank asked God, which weddings am I going to be able to shoot? And which weddings am I not going to be able to shoot? And he very clearly told me, these are the weddings you're going to be able to shoot. There were a couple that he said no to. One, the wedding ended up not happening, which is sort of crazy. And the second one, I felt like he said, McKenna would be the perfect person to take this over. She's been working with you for 4 years. And McKenna took it over along with Caroline, who used to be a part of Spark, and Ash. Thank you guys, awesome team, and did an amazing job at capturing that wedding day. But I was very nervous into going into shooting 8 months pregnant, and I prayed a lot. I prayed,
which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, being pregnant or having children and running a business or wedding photography or stationery, whatever it might be. Yeah. It's not an easy task. Yeah. It's a lot of juggling, as all of you know. I can't say anything. I'm single and don't have a baby, but I've been able to watch Amy with that. I didn't mean to interrupt yours, but I just want to, I'm sure it can relate to a lot of people that are watching. And And they're not always, perfect.
Yeah.
Are they? Sorry.
Girl. But one of the verses that I prayed over and over again before going into shooting, the weddings that I did have in June, was Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And then Luke 1:37, nothing is impossible with God. And that one really stuck out to me because a lot of people said, you're not going to be able to shoot weddings, up until you give birth. And I did do a double header, less than 2 weeks before her due date. And praise God, so amazing.
I was one of the doubters. I'll admit that. I was like, you can't do that. And she's like, yes, I can. Jesus told me I can.
Yeah. And so, the big ways that God showed up in my business. One, I prayed to him and I said, which weddings am I going to be able to do? God, let me know. I trust you. And he told me. He showed up. I very clearly heard what he said. And then, the second thing he did was he fulfilled all his promises to me. He allowed me to shoot all the weddings he said he was going to. And, he gave me amazing teams and, my husband, Christy, Sydney, all these amazing women who came along to help as I was pregnant with her. And then allowed me to even shoot a wedding 3 weeks after I gave birth to her. So I could have done none of that on my own. And I just praise God every day that he was so good and gave me so much strength. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And now little Audrey's here with us.
Yeah. She really wanted to say hi. She loves looking at herself.
Yeah, she does. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay!
She loves her mommy.
We really wanted to give you guys a taste of Spark, and we've also been these two have been secretly dying to Periscope. So,
never done it.
Or as Amy says, Periscope.
Yeah. I know it's not perfect. Clearly, it's not perfect, but I feel like this is a great representation of life and business and friendships. So this is us being just super candid with you guys. Hopefully we can do some more in the future. Just kind of giving you tidbits of Spark throughout the next year because we have it pretty much planned out. And today was Faith in Photography, and
if you want to come in person, we have cookies.
Yes.
Which we're going to eat and you can't.
So thank you guys so much for joining.
We love you guys.
Yay, we hope to see you soon too.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, no, if you would like to be a part of Spark New Jersey, feel free to get in touch with one of us, Amy Rizzuto, Cassie Clare, or McKenna Saylor, and we'll help you guys get involved.
And we're about to start talking about Fruits of the Spirit, so that should be an awesome series, and we're really excited to, talk more.
Yeah.
And,
be there one of these days. Thank you, Leandra.
Woo woo.
Glad you ladies did this. We are too.
Yay.
Hey, Ash. Thanks, Kim. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Leandra. Kylie's. Oh, hey, Jacqueline. How's Charlotte? It's awesome.
Yay, we miss you,
This is
girls.
great.
We hope to see you soon. Hopefully
What
see
a
you
great
next
first
week.
Periscope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Joining.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I turn this off? I'm not in charge anymore.